Welcome to the GreenLight Investor for the week ending January 30th, 2015. Our goal at the GreenLight Investor is to make managing your 401k both a simple and easy process. I'll go through an overview of the worksheet, then I'll highlight a few of the features that will help provide a method for allocating assets between your various 401k investment choices. Let's go right to our worksheet and I'll show you a few of the highlighted features. We'll start out with our investment choices. We've categorized each of the investment choices within your 401k, starting with your core investments at the top, and then we move into the satellite investments. Each of these investments are arranged such that the more aggressive ones are located towards the bottom of the spreadsheet. The more conservative ones are towards the top. Right under satellite investments, you'll notice that we have money markets, fixed income, U.S. growth and income. Then we move down to the more aggressive U.S. equity funds, international funds, and sector funds. The next column that's really important is the performance. Each week we'll update that so you can see how your various investment choices are performing. We start out with the closing price each week. We'll have a month-to-date total return, quarter-to-date total return, and a year-to-date total return, so you can see how your fund choices are performing. Finally, we'll review the current weekly trend scores for each of the funds. This, in my mind, is the most important columns to be looking at and filtering through when you're making your investment choices. Let me show a little bit more about how I like to use this the right side of column V to show the relative strength trend changes as well as the week-to-week trend scores. When I slide the box over, you'll see every week we rate each of the funds in your 401k with a number. When the number is above 0, you'll see it highlights the box as green. When the number is below 0, you'll see that it highlights the box as red. Green meaning it has a positive relative strength or is generally moving higher. Red means it has a negative relative strength score and is generally underperforming or moving lower. You'll also notice that each box we have a trend score number in there. The higher the number, the stronger the fund has been performing. The lower the number, the weaker it's been performing. Another interesting feature about this is you can see if the scores are increasing, which means the fund is moving up stronger, or you can see if the fund numbers are decreasing, which means that the fund is tending to become weaker. Let's go into our fund allocation worksheet, and we can take a closer look at how we can bring all of these pieces together. To get to our allocation worksheet, you simply click on View, Custom Views, and I click on just my allocation, my asset allocation. I'll hit Show, and what that'll do is it'll bring up my current selection of funds within the 401k plan. What you'll see is that I've got 10% allocated into the fund number 850, and when I move the slider over, you'll see that our system says that if you see a green light to the left of column V and to the right, it's all right to stay in the fund and there's nothing to do. Let's go down. We see that we have a 30% allocation to money market, and I'll explain why we're there in just a few moments. Next, let's go to our fixed income funds. You'll see we have a 5% allocation there, and it's showing that there's a bullish green light to the left and a bullish green light to the right. You'll also see that in column V there's a bright green light showing that this has been a very strong fund over the last week. Next, let's go down to our growth and income funds. You'll see we have a 5% allocation. It again shows that there's a green light to the left, a bullish green light to the right, And again, this one's highlighted in green, so it means it's been one of the stronger performing funds week over week. Next, we'll go down to our allocation in U.S. equities. We'll see we have a 10% allocation here. It's got a green light to the left, a green light to the right, so that means it's okay to just sit still. But we are noticing that these have underperformed over the last week because of the bright red light. We also have a 20% allocation. It's got a green bullish light to the left, green bullish light to the right, and a yellow light, again meaning caution in this fund. Because of the two green lights, there's no real reason to change yet, but the yellow light says that it may be worth keeping an eye on. Let's go back to our international funds, and we're seeing we have only a 10% allocation of the 30 that we had originally designated. If you'll recall, last week we moved 20% out of this into the money market, and that's why there's the overweighting in the money market. This week again we'll notice too that to the left of column V has turned yellow. To the right is still green, so it's still bullish to the right, but we are seeing a change. With this just being a yellow flag, I'm not going to take any action yet. But you always have the choice to go ahead and move this ahead of time if you'd like to. One thing you'll notice in this one is that starting in this column we had a 1.82, then we saw it strengthen to a 2.07, 2.44, and then we saw quite a deep drop to a 1.32, so it shows that although this is still bullish, the trend is weakening. And finally, let's move down a little bit more to some more of the allocations that we have. We have a 10% allocation to one of the sector funds. This one's still showing that it's got a bullish trend, and with the bright green light, we're showing that this one has again been one of the stronger performing funds on a week over week basis. One of the interesting things I've noticed this week is when we scroll back up these columns, you'll see how many of the funds are actually showing that they've weakened on a week over week basis. A lot of these numbers, although they're still green, are lower than they were in the prior week and lower than they were 2 weeks ago. Again, seeing the same thing here, we were a minus 3.18, now we're a minus 3.94, showing a weakening. As we scroll up these columns, you'll see that that's a trend, which tells me that the overall market is showing signs of weakness. By taking just a few minutes each week to go through each of your fund selections in the manner I just showed, you'll find that there's 3 important pieces of information that you'll get that will help you make your 401k investment choice decisions. First, you'll be able to get an idea of the relative strength of the funds by looking at both the number and the color of the tiles to the right, as well as seeing if you're still bullish or a green tile to the left of column V. Second, you'll be able to look at your funds over the past several weeks and see if the numbers are weakening or if they're strengthening. And that will give you a little bit of an early indication as to the direction that the fund's going. And as I'm noting in this week, as you're seeing a lot of funds weakening, so that may show an overall weakening of the overall markets. And third, by just scrolling down and seeing whether you see more green or more red will give you a real good feel as to the overall strength of the market and how bullish or bearish or how much risk you're willing to put on the table at any given point. Generally speaking, when you see a lot of green, it's a good time to be in the markets. When you see a lot of red, sometimes it's better to be a little bit more conservative or move money over to the money market and wait for more green lights to appear. The GreenLight system is meant to be a simple and easy method to help you navigate the choices within your 401k. I hope this has been helpful, and I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video, and do hope that it adds some ideas and resources that will be helpful for you in managing your 401k choices. Thanks again for watching this. And please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or would like more information on how you can apply this system for managing your 401k assets. Thanks again.